Hi, this is Attorney Nicole Christie from the Christie Law Firm. April 2023 is National Child Abuse Prevention Month, and we here at the Christie Law Firm, we deal with cases involving just that, child abuse. So I decided to do just a series of videos on just tips and recommendations I would make if you were ever charged with an abuse or neglect, and just some things to kind of help avoid or deal with those kinds of situations should they arise. And so one particular area that has come up for us often is when a child has a mental health concern, or maybe they have ongoing mental health issues and the parents are struggling. What I have often seen is that their resources are limited. Some kids can get resources, some cannot. Some families get support, some have difficulty. So if you do find that you have a child who has a serious mental health issue or it's been ongoing, there's a couple of steps that I would recommend so that you can prevent having to have DCF involved because there's, quote, some issue of neglect or abuse. Sometimes these situations unfold in the middle of the night or in the evening after hours, and it's difficult to maintain. So here in the state of Connecticut, we have an emergency line, a crisis line called 211, and they can dispatch mobile crisis to your home no matter where you are, to help deal with what might be happening at the home. So if your child is, beyond your control, they're actually hurting themselves, they're hurting someone else, you can contact mobile crisis instead of calling the police. But in most occasions, what they're supposed to do is assess what's happening and determine what the needs are. It might be that the child needs to go to the hospital to be evaluated, or they might be able to enlist some kind of techniques to help calm the situation and then make recommendations as to what to do. So you definitely want to have a resource readily available to you should the need arise, and it's a crisis. Second to that, you want to scour the internet as much as possible, go through your medical insurance, whoever you have it, make sure you contact them. Find providers in your area who can assist. Give them all of the information. Sometimes it's not easy and it's going to take a lot of research to find the right provider, but you want to find someone who is equipped, who has experience, and who can provide you with real concrete ways to make things better. Not just sitting with the child and talking to them and then giving you a report, but giving you some tips, giving you some insight, giving you some ways to deal with it, and really educating you about what your child might need. If it gets to a point where things are escalating, things are continuing to move forward in a way that just isn't right, and you're not sure if you can maintain this child at home, that's where you could reach out to Beacon Health Services through DCF here in Connecticut. They are a voluntary services program. Now, there's no guarantee that they'll take every single case, but again, if you reach out to them, it is helpful. Sometimes it has to be the last resort because you never know when you're dealing with DCF how they're going to treat a particular case, but at least you have reached out, at least you have sought some kind of remedy. Don't be afraid to look at residential treatment facilities. I know people getting concerned about children being institutionalized, but one of my main concerns is that kids are safe, whether they're safe at home, they're safe at school, or they're safe anywhere. So it's more important that they're safe and that their needs are being met and addressed than it just continue to escalate and then themselves be found at risk. So these are different options, and some of them you've probably already tried, but continue to try, continue to reach out, continue to do research. There are facilities throughout the country. They're not all located in Connecticut, and if your child needs assistance, don't be afraid to at least look into it. It's not easy sending a child away unless they're going to college or they're moving out of the house, but nevertheless, the most important thing is keeping everyone safe, not only the child in question, but the siblings, yourself as parents, anybody that might be involved. Also, don't be afraid to enlist the school. What are some of the services that are being offered by the school? Are there additional supports in school? Don't be afraid to ask for a PPT when you think things aren't going well at school. Sometimes they'll set up a program, but sometimes people don't go back and check. And, on any given day, a teacher could be out, an aide could be out, and your child didn't get the services they were supposed to get. And sometimes it happens with a level of frequency that people don't know unless they ask. So understand that you're not in it by yourself, that there are resources. It's just going to probably take a lot of work to find those resources, but stick with it. Stay with it. There are also advocates who can help throughout. I do know of AFCAMP. They help with families who have children with learning disabilities. So they're located in Hartford. Whatever you have to do, try to find those resources so again, you're not all on your own and you have additional support. So that way, God forbid, there is a call to DCF. You have a list of people that can say, hey, this is what they've been doing, this is how they've been trying to address it, and it helps DCF to see the larger picture. Sometimes when DCF does get involved, it can help facilitate additional services, but again, that's an intrusion. You never know where the case is going to end up. So if you can find those resources on your own or with the help of community providers, it's probably the best. And again, if you ever need assistance and you need some advice or maybe just consultation in dealing with, all that's going on, we can do our best. We're not mental health professionals, but, just being able to navigate the different agencies, and especially if DCF gets involved, we can loan some assistance in that area. Take care.